Plenty of questions, but are there plenty of answers? It's your match preview. We're going to talk about it right now. Hello again, friends, and you are my friends. Plenty of questions, but are there plenty of answers? Well, the squad we've got is the squad that one is going to get us through to the end of the season. Matt, I heard your transfer thoughts on the day of the window closing. Steve, I haven't yet had the pleasure of hearing your thoughts. Certainly not the world, anyway. What are your thoughts on a transfer deadline day, which you did predict in our Discord, to be fair, would be quiet? I think you said that more in hope that you'd be wrong as opposed to confirmation that you would be. Where are you on it? Are you disappointed? Are you okay?
Tumbleweed. Let's just say that, shall we? Tumbleweed. A little too little, too late, I think. Certainly there's mention of bits and pieces around transfer targets, let's say. Lots of links coming up to the transfer deadline day, but they didn't really materialise, did they? The only one that we really big know of is Aziz from Millwall, and let's just add another 6 right wingers to our squad. You know what I mean? We, might as well have about 6 or 7, mightn't we? Just a little too late, if I'm honest.
Okay, we're going to feature obviously some transfer talk throughout the course of the show because when you do your 1 to 11, you're going to be hard to stay away from it. So we'll discuss the departure of Szmodics. We'll discuss, I'm sure, in a bit more detail that bid for Aziz and where he may or may not have fitted, why the club may or may not have gone in for him, inappropriate bid, transfer business was a C at best, and Higgy letting SS go, leaving a vacant squad position was stupid, says Higgy. We love comments on this show. We build it around you at home, so get active. Please leave your comments, whether live or on catch up. But it is a match preview, and as always, we do like to try and sort of gauge the confidence heading in to a game on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not confident, 10 being so confident in the bag, he wouldn't even got in the basket. It's 3 points already at Portman Road, sitting pretty. Matt, on a scale of 1 to 10 in the gut meter test, where are you this week? Because Town aren't brilliant on the road, but the good news is Derby aren't that all too great at home.
Yeah, exactly that. I can't stop thinking about the transfer window over the game. I'm probably about a 5 or 6, to be honest with you. Maybe a little bit higher than that, given Derby's home form isn't very good. It's 18 points, I think they've got from home all season. Won 4 out of 15, something like that.
They've won 4 games at home.
Away from home, top of the away table, as we saw them beating Bristol City last Friday 5-0. I mean, completely different beast away from home. But Ipswich are going into the game on the back of postponement again. Joke at Fratton Park. 2 games cancelled there now, so it's hard to gauge because we didn't play very well against Sheffield United. We didn't play very well really against Preston North End. Haven't had a chance to address either of those games in the interim period, and now we go into what is a pretty difficult game. And as I say, what was Derby's last game? 5-0 at Bristol City, and now they've got one of our strikers.
Yeah. Although he can't play, of course, this
Well, he
Saturday.
can't. But we'll come to that in a minute, won't we?
They're very much the complete opposite to us, though, Matt, in terms of a way that they're flying at home. I'm sure the fans would want more from home from their home form and hope to get that. Now they've really had a decent summer, decent January on, from the outside looking in, made a number of additions. So it'd be an interesting game to see what John Eustace, who's always a good manager, a tough manager to come up against, can get out of his Derby side. But Steve, Derby have kept Derby have kept a clean sheet 20% of the time at home. Foul to score only 7%. So does that mean we're going to get a 0-0, or does that mean we're going to get a 4-4?
Well, it could be anything, couldn't it? Bear in mind, it just all depends on if we turn up. We predominantly, when we've had a break, international break or postponements, the game after we have that, we normally don't turn up, and that's what worries me. I'm a 4-5 at most. I really am. I think that they obviously will talk about Mr. Szmodics, but watching his interviews and bits and pieces, with John Eustace and you know how he's always worked with him and this, that, and the other. I'm sure he'll have a few words with the boss about how we're going to play. He will do, of course he will. You know, I know he's still our player, but for how long? I just think that there's only one little shining light that I can see, and it will go to the 11. But if we change a few bits and pieces up, but I'm with Matt. I think, you know, because we're so poor after breaks, and because we need that consistency of running in, and we need consistency of working together. We haven't had that. That's not the team's fault. I know the Portsmouth is just ridiculous. But we'll get onto that in a minute, I'm sure. But I think I'm a 4 and 5. I think could be a draw.
Well, you reference obviously the Portsmouth game postponed for a second time, and while it's not a huge break, obviously in traditional sense it's only a week. It was called off on the morning of the game, so the club would have had to have travelled down to the south coast and stayed the night before. You know, and so in itself that is a postponement. That, you know, is in the sense of what you're referring to there. That's travel. It's so much more trickier than it is international break, where you know you haven't got a game, you aren't traveling and staying overnight and all these different things and losing game time on the training ground, which you would have done because you would have had a lighter session on the Monday, ready for the Tuesday, and then Tuesday it would have been coming home as opposed to being able to get on the training ground. So very interesting point you raised there. Andrew says not buying a striker will finish our chances of top 2. Simple. Do you believe that, Matthew Phillips? Very quickly, yes or no? Do you believe not buying a striker will finish our top 2 chances? Simple. Yes or no?
I say no. No.
He says no. You say no. Okay.
It's not helping, but I mean, I still think there's enough in the tank there. I mean, we've proven it all season, really. And you don't like me saying this, do you? But we've just been trundling along in second and third gear, Steve, and we're fourth with a game in hand and have been second, running like Billie goals.
I think what worries me, Matt, is the people around us that have bought Middlesbrough, Hull, very free-flowing, scoring goals. And we are now, 7 points behind second? Is that right? I know we've got game in hand or 2 games in hand? Just one. One game in hand. So, yeah, I think it's going to be very tough. Is it undoable? No, it's not undoable, but it's blinking hard. Do you know what I mean? And we get an injury, God forbid any injuries in regards to, Hurst doesn't keep fit at the best of times, but even when he is fit, where is he? And, you could play Akpom up the top, but he hasn't had a run of games there. And then Azon is a trier, but the goal return isn't great.
No. Inappropriate Beard says Szmodics was always leaving, didn't want to stay. He knew once he knew Donald wanted to start of January. Mehmeti coming in was just a nail in the coffin. Mike says recruitment has been a huge concern since the summer, as these attempts show how we've been unable to replace Amari. Seymour, if Sammy starts banging in goals, can we recall him? Well, he'll be back in the summer, but obviously we can't recall him, Seymour, because the window is now shut. And away we go. This is what you've got until the summer, come promotion or not. Chris Boyd, not really fussed about when it's going out on loan. Hope Eustace can get his mojo back, and then we'll take him back. Otherwise, let him go. He's shown very little for us. Interesting, that one, really, from my perspective, is to see just how well he performs when and if it's down to a manager knowing perhaps how to use the player, as opposed to, because you don't become a bad player overnight, and you don't lose your goal scoring form too drastically overnight. But we'll see. We'll see how the back end of that.
He mentioned that in his interview. If you watch his interview, his words were, and I quote, "It's nice to have a manager who will let me have free reign of where I want to go." So is that saying that McKenna is strict in respect of how he wants to play, and Sammy is not happy the fact that he's not allowed to free reign and go where he wants to go? That was his words on his interview. Interesting.
I know you're big on this transfer, so chime in here, my friend.
It just look, we were doing the transfer show, weren't we? The window shutting, and then we discover later after we finished that they're putting this deal sheet for the extension because they were mid-deal and they could get it over the line. None of it adds up whatsoever. First of all, after Preston, you've got McKenna saying, well, there's only going to be a deal done there if it meets the valuation and all that kind of thing. Well, they've probably paid a loan fee. I mean, what that might be, I don't know. They were talking 3 million to go there permanently. So maybe you've got $1 million, they pick up his wages. But the fact that Ipswich didn't get a number 9 in and then allow somebody who was the top scorer in the division 2 seasons ago to go and play for a promotion rival. And that's what they are. They're only 6 points behind us, everyone. They ain't down near the bottom of the table on the periphery of the playoffs. I don't see, and then you don't get the number 9 in. So there's no goal scoring replacement. I don't see how that benefits Ipswich Town one iota. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's like you've pressed the wrong button on Championship Manager, Martin. You've let someone go out on loan and you've forgotten to get the replacement in, and oh shit, now the window's shut. But going back, circling back around to the point you asked me earlier, the fact that we have been competing for top 2 nearly all the season, bar maybe August and a bit of September, you know, it makes me think we still can. But it's a fine line now because you've lost an attacking option. You're not replaced. And as Steve rightly says, Hurst, patchy on the injury record, patchy with his finishing, and we're all willing him to do the best, but you saw it on Saturday. We're missing the Philogene factor, scoring the goals at Pullman Road. That's what was missing from the Preston game, I think. You know, you've lost the ability to shoot from outside the box because Taylor doesn't when he come on. So all these factors add up. It's a real dice roll. And we've talked about this. Mick Court, didn't we, coming in from Man United, director of recruitment. So he come in at the end of September. You know, I mean, Mehmeti's good signing. Well, we could have scouted him. Well, not exactly rocket science, was it? You go on bloody foot mob and can see he's their best player, 8 goals, 6 assists. Oh, we need a 10 or whatever. We can get him in. Dan Neil, good on paper, but no game time. 14 minutes, whatever it is. Are we, as we said in the last show, were we expecting him to go under lights, wet and windy Fratton Park, bring in a 10 out of 10 performance? Probably, given the fickleness of Town fans. But he's not a robot, is he? He needs to get up to speed. So the fact they've not been able to get a 9 in and let Szmodics go, he's just lunacy to me. But, you know, we will review it again in the summer. But they're walking a tightrope, I think.
Speaking of which, the only sort of transfer in news that came out from deadline day, David, €20 super sticker. We appreciate that, David. Thank you so much for generosity. Truly appreciate it. Thanks for your support, not just today, but over the last years that have gone by with the platform. So I do appreciate it. Thank you. The only transfer in or link that came out was the bid for Aziz from Millwall, which would have been a club record for Millwall. So somewhere north of 15 million. So 16 to 18 to 19 million, that sort of area. But it was turned down. It was rejected. Right winger Aziz from Millwall. That would be our 4th right winger. Obviously, fifth right winger, with one of them being out on loan, who scored last night, by the way, for Sheffield United. That would have put our spend at right wingers closer to 50 million, if not over 50 million. Oh, you talk about lunacy, Matt. Are we just sort of staggering around trying to find an answer at the right wing position? Because to me, if you said that to me, I'd have said, that's never going to happen. Town have got 3 right wingers they can't get a tune out of. I know one's come back from injury, and obviously we'll sort of leave him out of the conversation, if you like.
Yeah. But
you can't get a tune out of the other 2. One out on loan. You spent nearly 35 million already. You don't need to go and spend another 17 million on a right winger. This is madness.
Seemed odd to me. I mean, he's got 7 goals. So whether or not he can play centrally, not 100% certain, to be honest. I didn't really look into it too much because obviously we didn't get it over the line. But again, you know, you're bordering on or possibly breaking the championship record for a player. It was certainly Millwall's transfer record if it had gone through, wouldn't it? To bring him in. Just very odd. Just breaking our way. Maybe 67 is saying, based on that moan of me talking about Szmodics, we might as well pack up and plan for 26 for 7. People only hear what they want to hear on this in the comments, don't they? The fact I've just said top 2 isn't gone yet, I will gloss over that. And while Matt's moaning about Szmodics. But yeah, I mean, just doesn't seem to be any
I glossed over anyway, Matt. So
it doesn't seem to be any coherence. There doesn't seem to be any coherence to the transfer strategy to me. I mean, like, we've just spoken about Szmodics, and like you rightly say, you'd be now trying to get predominantly a fourth right-sided player into the squad on huge money, 20 million or whatever it was going to be. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I think Alex Neil did say, didn't he, that we had put in, it wasn't like paper talk or nothing.
3 bids.
Free bids
Three
on that
bids.
one day or whatever it was,
Yeah.
Steve. Yeah.
And the thing is, sorry, man. And the thing is, Steve, with the player trading model, I'm all for bringing in young players, developing them, selling them for a fee. I mean, I'd hope one day the clubs obviously start to get in a position where they don't need to do that model when they start to move, because we're an established Premier League side, but that's way down the line. But the key word in there was developing. You don't develop players by not playing them. You can only play one right winger. When we do our 1 to 11 in a minute, you're only going to have one right winger. Why do you need 4?
But what's the model then, Gov? I don't understand your model. It's almost like they pick the names in a hat, put them in and go, oh, yeah, well, we'll do that one. Surely that model tells you if you ain't scoring enough goals, you need to do something up the top. Yeah, I know that last season when we got promoted, the majority of our goals came from the back three behind 9. I get that. And I get McKennie's working, that he likes, that central number 9 to bring the other players into. And that's fine. But goals get you games, they get you points. And actually, why didn't they go in for Millwall striker? That would have made more sense.
Perhaps
Do you know what I mean?
wanted to go in for.
Do you know what I mean? That would have made more sense. I would have gone, yeah, okay, it got rejected. Yeah, fine, that's no problem whatsoever. The lad from Swansea, I know they probably wouldn't have sold him. However, if you're going to put 15 million to a right-sided player, that you've got 4 players already, does it not make sense just to stick it all in and even throw the dice and go, do you know what? I'm going to stick a bid in for 15 mil for that person. If it gets knocked back, if it gets leaked, at least then people know that, we've made that bid. We've gone there, and to let Szmodics go. I mean, I don't even know whether Szmodics ever played in the 9. I don't know whether he could have ever played in the 9. Don't think he ever got a chance, or I've ever seen him. I can't remember whether he has.
I think he did against Newcastle, didn't he?
Didn't he? Yeah, I think he did.
Marking him.
Yeah, and I don't think it went.
Yes, you're right. I remember.
I don't think it went 100% well.
No.
But in the same respect, if he's, surplus to requirements, what you need is a number 9. So go and get a number 9. I just don't understand it.
But the numbers are the numbers, and as we said on Monday's show, you can say big chance creation is high, and it is, but you can also look at it and say getting in position is the hard part. We can coach better decision making, we can coach better finishing, we can coach composure, and if there's no better options out there, then yes, stand pat. Don't go and have what fans would call a panic buy if it didn't work out. And we've had those that fans would say are panic buys over the last couple of years. So I get the thinking there, but I don't get the thinking in terms of like just sitting back, feet up, cup of coffee, which we all know Mark Ashton likes to enjoy. But it's the bid for the other right winger. But to me, shows, and I might be completely wrong, a disconnect, Matt. And this, well, what's the plan? If there is one, what is it? Why is it? How is it? Ended up throwing out, you need 5 right wingers, because Ogbene, is he worth £8 million today? Probably not. So in terms of player trading, that's gone backwards.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I mean, none of that deal for Aziz makes any sense whatsoever, given Millwall, what right behind us in 5th, 1 point behind us, not going to sell to a promotion rival.
No.
And why we've done it so late in the day or whatever, if it was on the Monday, giving them no time whatsoever to get someone in. So they've rightly said no to a promotion rival. Then there was the talk of Hackney, wasn't there? I mean, that was back in the summer, but people were like optimistically saying, would we go back into Hackney, Middlesbrough? Well, I mean, look, that would never happen in a million years. They're second, again, selling to promotion rival. Derby, promotion rival of ours, come along for a deal on Szmodics. Off you go. It doesn't make any sense to me, does it? Doesn't make any sense.
There's something underneath that, Matt. There's got to be.
Well, there is, isn't there? There obviously is. I would like the club to, I mean, maybe they would have addressed it after the Portsmouth game in the press conference with media. I would like an explanation as to why Sammy Szmodics has been allowed to go to someone who's contending for the playoffs and right on our tail.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's for me, and that's where the disconnect for me is between the plan you've got on paper and the actual thing that is playing out on the grass. Because you might have this wonderful plan that you set out and you plot, well, we're going to do this, going to do that. But the reality on the grass is very much a different situation in the sense of you've signed McAteer, it hasn't worked for him yet. You've signed Egley, a lot of potential, but for the right here, right now, you can't say it's happened for him yet. Ogbene, you've sent out on loan only a year after you brought him in anyway. You've got Sammy going out on loan. You've got a 10. You've got Nunez, who's your best 10, probably wasn't bought for the position of being a 10. Sat being injured. Jaden Philogene out injured. So I mean, if anything, maybe you should have bought or looked at a left winger, and then but then perhaps
you got Mehmeti there.
But who's playing the 10 while Nunez is injured?
Yeah, good point.
This is what I mean about the plan on paper and the plan in reality. And if you're throwing names at me, I would have gone for a left winger name more than a right winger Monday morning. So I'm just talking about in terms of the disconnect I feel that I see between the plan they've got, which is great on a notebook.
You'd have to have Akpom in the 10, wouldn't you?
Which fans don't want.
Yeah, well, he's not exactly pulled up any trees, is he? In that position.
No.
I mean, why Ipswich thought Millwall would sort of, take that bid on deadline day and leave themselves short. Well, it doesn't know, does it? They've said, no, thanks. See you later. It seems like Ipswich done all their business, all this, because we said, didn't we? We're like lamenting the fact there was no smoke on any of these deals coming through. It seems like everything was done at the last knockings. Very odd. Very odd. And you allow Szmodics to go after, on the deal sheet thing, 2 hours after the window shut. He can't be replaced. Now you've lost an option from the bench. I mean, he did score 4 goals for us in the Premier League. Stephen spent most of that season injured. So, I mean, if he'd been fit that season, you might like to think he might have doubled that 8 goals in the Premier League.
So do we think that Mark Ashton is biting off more he can chew with doing the dual roles? That's my concern, is that there's such a disconnect that actually he's got so many fingers in so many pies that, remember when he first came in, he was, the phone's always ringing, I'm always doing this, that and the other. Is he taking on too much with O'Leary going? I wonder if that's an option, whether there's a disconnect between him and McKenna. I know they sit and they have their wonderful interviews with Matt Holland and everything's chummy.
It's coming up.
Maybe that's becoming stretched. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, I don't know. Sorry, mate. I don't know what the dynamic of the roles is particularly. I mean, sometimes a chair can just be ambassadorial, can't it? And the CEO's doing all. So I mean, there might be just some overlap there. But I mean, look through football, through the 4 divisions. How many joint chair CEOs can you find? Probably only one.
Yeah.
At Portman Road.
Yeah.
I mean, make your own conclusions on that one.
But it's been such a length of time now that obviously it's something that's accepted and isn't currently being reviewed as changing, because it has been such a length of time now. And you mentioned is it ambassadorial or whatever. Judging by Mike O'Leary's filing, Matt, it was certainly a hands-on 24/7, 365 gig. Because that was an impressive filing system for those that remember. Look, it is what it is. It is what it is. We are where we are. Let's hope. And which is, funny to say, we are 4th and we have got a game in hand and we've got Middlesbrough to come. And I want to bring us back up to the positive level. I've got a voice message to play, and then I want 1 to 11s from you both, please.
Come on, let's stay positive. We can do it. We can still make that top 2. It's within our grasp. We've got the quality. We've got the squad depth. Yeah, we've still got Borough at home. Yeah, we've still got Hull at home to come. Remember, when we play our FA Cup game, I believe Borough and Coventry play each other, something like that. So ultimately, that could work in our favour. We've got a few things going in our favour. Yes, we didn't get the strike we wanted, but who is realistically out there? But come on, positive. We're making that top 2. Let's go town. Come on, you Blues.
Excellent voice message. Clearly knew where the conversation would be flowing. And don't forget, we have partnered up with Match Bingo to give you a 100% deposit bonus when you use the word town all in caps. That's right, a 100% deposit bonus when you use the word town all in caps. Deposit minimum is £10 and wild bonus cash can't be withdrawn. The winnings, they absolutely can be. So play Match Bingo, win cash prizes, over 18s only. Terms and conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information. Below Matt is a QR code next to their logo. Scan it. It'll take you where you need to get to, or the links in the description to play Match Bingo. Right, 1 to 11 time ahead of this weekend's away game to Derby. I'll give you the 11 that played last time Town did. Obviously, the 1-1 draw at home to Preston. I would like how many changes you're making, who you're changing, and of course, why you are making those changes. Our team was Walt. So I've just seen a graphic with Cornell go and I've got a flashback. Sorry. Give me a minute to compose myself.
Make me shake.
Yeah. I looked at it like, whoa. Where am I? Right. Walton, Furlong, O'Shea, Kipray, Davis, Matasiwa, Kayust, Burns, Mehmeti, Clark, and Azon. Steve, how many changes? Who are they and why?
Okay. I am going to make. Ooh, I'm only going to make one.
One? Never going to happen.
Yeah.
We'll go with it. One. Go on. Who and why?
Q-Stage coming out.
Okay.
And I'm putting Dan Neil in.
Oh, we're giving a debut to Dan Neil.
The reason being is he's a little bit of unknown. And if Agent Szmodics is having a little chat, he's going to obviously, have a chat with Eustace about what's going on. And he's a little bit of the unknown. And actually, I know he hasn't played many minutes, but I'm sure he's probably been keeping very fit in regards to Sunderland, being in the Premiership and being ready to go, etc. So I think we ain't got nothing to lose, have we? Let's be honest. He's been brought in to sit next to Matasiwa. I think he'll be a good player, and I think he's got the leadership, and I think that's what we're crying out for a little bit as well. So yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm keeping all the rest.
No, it's fair enough. A bit awkward as I put Koyus on the thumbnail. But okay, appreciate it. No problem, Steve. Thanks so much. Matt, over to you. How many changes? Who are they and why?
I am probably making one change, but I think it would be Taylor that would come in for Cahuste instead. I just don't see Neil starting, given that he's had 13 or 14 minutes of football all season, and we're in February. As we said in the other show, it's very difficult to integrate that kind of player into the squad, isn't it? Certainly, Steve, you're right. He's got all the quality that we needed, and an unknown quantity as well. If Szmodics is having a word in Eustace's ear, but I would probably go with Taylor. I don't think you can drop Clark particularly, and even if Philogene is available, which is the rumour he might be back, he's not performing very well away from home anyway, so it makes more sense for him to start on the bench. And if Azon's okay to start in the 9, then I probably would do that. Mehmeti in the middle and Wes on the right, I think. Yeah, that's probably how I see it. Just that one change in the midfield. But somehow we need to get Neil on the pitch, because at some point we want him starting games. But it's a gradual process for me.
Yeah, so one is going for a gradual process. One is starting Dan Neil. Let us know what you would do in our comment section, whether live or on catch up. And of course, if you're there, hit the like button and subscribe for your town news, views, fan opinion, and more. Plenty of fan opinion, plenty of views, match reaction, watch along coming this Saturday. So do join us. Chris Boyd, Neil needs minutes, given how conservative McKenna is. I think some minutes off the bench at most. Colin says major surgery is needed when we eventually go up. This squad is nowhere near good enough for the Premier League at the moment. Trevor says Derby, very impressive at Bristol City. We've also got 5 memberships kindly donated by our good friend and yours, Mr. David Bergen. David, thank you very much for generosity. Once again, that's 5 lucky people who now have the whole host of thank yous from me for being a member. So that's the Gov's Tactics truck. That's the trending up, trending down, the 15% off the merchandise of our merchandise stall. Head on over and check it out. Etsy, Talking Town Threads. I think it's etsy.com/Talking Town Threads. And of course, Discord, where all the cool people hang out.
Tactics truck. Tactics truck.
Gov's Tactics truck. Yeah, a couple of new things coming as well. So keep, so thank you very much, David, for your generosity. And hopefully those 5 lucky people thank you themselves as well. I really am both. I am quite intrigued, if not sort of amused. You both feel that Sammy Szmodics would need to give John Eustace any new information, because Ipswich Town have played the same way for the last 4.5 years. So what would he be telling John Eustace that he doesn't already know or couldn't already look up 6 months ago, 18 months ago, or 3 years ago? We play good stuff, we play aggressive stuff, but it is 4-2-3-1. It is going to be a case of no surprises. I think you're both underplaying the changes. I think McKenna. This is McKenna after all. We'll go for more than one, but I think in terms of you're both saying one change, but there's no system change, no approach change. It's kind of just he won't play, but he will. I'm just
are we expecting Are we expecting Derby to get into our face like Sheffield United did, or will they sit back and try and play football against us like Coventry did? Then you see two different versions of Ipswich then, don't you? Like the versions you saw at Leicester and Sheffield United, nowhere near comparison to what you saw at Coventry. But of course, Coventry play a completely different style and wanted to go toe-to-toe with us in a kind of basketball game. Really, that suits us more. So it'd be interesting whether or not, I mean, Szmodics played in that Sheffield United game, whether or not they feel like they could get in our face a little bit. I don't know. I mean, it was a very tough game against them at Pullman Road, wasn't it? So we were 1-up, 2-1 down. And then, like we saw Saturday, had to rely on a Jack Clark penalty right at the death to claw a point.
And McKenna won't change his system. We know that. It's not going to happen. You know, we talk about, you know, people and players that we could put this, that and the other and places everywhere. There's a system where we could probably have fitted in people that potentially we could have brought in, but he's not going to change the system. No. I think for me, on the right-hand side, I think Egley, it's too much for him at the moment. I don't think he's a starter. I really don't. I think it's too much. I think it's too, you know, he started really, really well, but I think you put too much on a young lad that age, you can ruin him. I don't think it's right. And then the left-hand side, Jack Clark didn't have the best of games at Preston, but I think he can still got a point to prove. I don't think Philogene will be ready, and I don't think Nunes will be ready, and I don't think they'll risk him. So that's the reason why. And I think Azon is your best option. Hurst is. I don't know what's going on with him. I really don't. It worries me massively. Confidence.
Which can quickly come as it can quickly go. And
in
terms of Derby, they're going to be, I think, combative. You know, really play the percentages every 50-50. We'll try and make a 70-30. The away form being better than the home form suggests to me they probably operate a little bit better, more as a counter-attacking side on the transition, as they do than perhaps being the more favoured team or the team trying to be on the front foot and take the game to the opposition, which, you know, home teams traditionally are more known to do. You know, you've got Travis in midfield. Should he play? There is an injury concern with Travis. Looking at the Derby County forums, which I've been doing for a little video.
He went off
the weekend.
Yeah, he went off.
He went off.
I mean, I watched the second half of that game when they were 3-up. And as I said on one of the other shows, like bloody Pep Guardiola era Barcelona in that game. I mean, Bristol City were dreadful, and Morsey came on in that as well. But I mean, look, they've got that Rhian Brewster. He's a good player, wasn't he? He was a Sheffield United. Even that Brereton Diaz looks good there. And our friend at Football Martin, the Southampton fan, said he couldn't find his feet at all at St Mary's, but he looks decent there. And then they've got Ajamang up top, and then obviously he's not going to play on Saturday, is he? But you add Szmodics into the risk, and this, I think his name's Bobby Clark. He scored in that game against Chelsea. It's weird that their form at Pride Park isn't very good, because I mean they look like promotion contenders at Ashton Gate, but Bristol City didn't play well at all.
No. Well, let's go on to the score prediction then. If we sort of round up, don't forget we are part with Stowmarket Osteopaths. Quality care since 1985. If Bede was here, he'd say that is a long time, and he'd be right, because it certainly is a long time. Give him a call for osteopath or physiotherapy services. If you can be questioning, no, just give him a call. I don't know where the segue was going there. I was going with the McKenna Ashton recruitment. If you can be questioning the recruitment, but I don't know. I've just had a complete sort of midway point. 449 613 633. 449 613 633. It's taken 6 years for a segue not to work. My luck had to run out at some point. It just had to. And hopefully Town's luck hasn't run out in terms of promotions. We need one this season. So score prediction. Here we go. I would like to know your score prediction. And if Town are to score, who is your first goal scorer? Matthew.
Well, I think we're desperate for the 3 points after the two performances we've seen. I think it's going to be I just feel like it's going to be a difficult game. It's a lunchtime kickoff away from home. But I'm desperate for us to get the 3 points. So in my heart, I'm saying we will get the 3 points, but my head's saying probably, given what I've seen in the last two performances and what I saw of Derby at Bristol City, I'm going to say if we can get probably going to say a point. I think we'll take a point. Who do I think will score our goal? I'm probably going to say Jack Clark.
Okay. 1-1. Well, yeah, because that's kind of who scores the goals. It's whoever plays left midfield.
1-1. I hope we can squeak the 2-1. because we desperately need it. Because I want us to, as I said earlier, I feel like we can still get top 2, but I think it'd be a tough game. And they've recruited obviously quite well in the January window. Brought in a couple of players from Germany and the Netherlands. Spent about 4 million on new players, Derby, so they'll be keen to make their mark if they play. It's just have not looked good away from home.
Yeah. Sanderson, Frullo, Merkin, Szmodics, and there's one more they've brought in, and I can't remember his name. See, I've been doing my research, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I've been trawling the Derby County fan forums. I've been doing my research. There's one more. I had it earlier and I can't remember it now, but there we go. Speaking of things that we didn't quite, remember, our voice message earlier, be positive. I don't feel like anyone's picked up that baton from the caller and really taken that to heart yet.
I'm still. I mean, I don't know you, Steve.
I'm positive. I'm just going to say a 5, and then sort of say, "Oh no one scores any goals for us." So it's Jack Clark that scores.
Exactly that. I am positive, and I do think Ipswich can get top 2. The problem I've got with it all, be it on the pitch, be it at home against the likes of Preston and Wrexham and Watford, or going away from home and putting in performances like Sheffield United and Leicester that we did, and the transfer window we've just seen, is we're making incredibly heavy weather out of something that should be quite simplistic. I've said it before. I don't think the quality in this championship this season is very good. No. And really Ipswich should be top 2 with one of Coventry or Borough. I mean, Coventry just, if you watch some of their pods, I think their season's about to finish, falling off the cliff.
Imploding.
Yeah, exactly that, Steve. I mean, they had what was the lead? 13 points, and now Borough have caught them up. And really, arguably, we should have caught them up if we'd been a little bit better away from home, but we haven't, and so we have to deal with it. But I just feel like everything we're doing is heavy weather. We've made heavy weather of the transfer window, as we said earlier. I'm not going to go back into it again, but I don't know. It just seems like this is a real golden opportunity for Ipswich to return to the Premier League in what I think is quite a weak division, and we're making a meal of it. That is my take on it.
I wrote as much in an article that's coming out back end of this week.
Very good it is as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you read it. Steve, your score prediction of the first goal scorer, please.
Ipswich 5-1, as on hat-trick. No, I'm joking. See, that's positivity, isn't it?
That is incredible. You know what I mean? No, that was borderline delusional.
Yes, yeah. I won't go there. I'm with Matt. It's a 1-1. And I think that Burns is going to score.
Excellent. We'll all welcome a Wes Burns a goal. Colin says 2-1 to Town. David, having a great show so far. First mistake of the game. Says Derby 2, Town 1. But hey, David, no performance is 10 out of 10 every week. Trevor, their number 9 is a real handful. Luke, I'm not optimistic for this one, I'm afraid. Derby on form. We struggled away from home. See a loss, I'm afraid. 80, Derby 1, Town. Derby 1, Town. He doesn't put a number next to it, so I can't say what he thinks Town are going to do. But he's got Messi scoring first. At the very least, it's a 1-1 draw from AD Croucher. He's just leaving us hanging with that 180. Please come back to us and let us know what the score is going to be.
It's a 5-1, isn't it, AD? It's a 5-1. I know. Don't worry. Right.
Craig says 2-1. O'Shea with the goal. Lynn says 2-0. Inappropriate beard. Have to say, even Norwich had a better window than us. Dave, I'm not going to go that far. Beard. I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to go ever
that
go
sort of comments. Like.
I know. Yeah. It's almost automatic ban, isn't it? Dino, Sally's performance hasn't given me any positivity. Well, go back and listen to the voice message. See if you can't just capture just 1%, 2% of that callers' optimism as we build up for this one. So join me again for a watch along Saturday, 12:31 kickoff. Got some more content coming up towards the back end of this week. But until then, this has been your match preview. I've been your host. That man there's been Matt. That man there's been Steve. And you've been the most wonderful audience of all. Thank you for joining us. Take care. God bless. All the best. No. Bye-bye. You've reached the end. Thank you so much for watching. Hit here to subscribe. It's totally free. And hit here for more Talking Town videos. I'll see you on the next one.